Բարև ձեզ գրադարանում, այսօր զրուցում ենք ուկրաինական Հրոմադսկե հեռուստաընկերության լրագրող Նաստյա Ստանկոյի հետ. Hello Nastya.
Hello.
You covered a war even before this very war we had this year, 2020. And you covered a lot, you've seen a lot. Can I call you war reporter? And what is it be like to be a war reporter?
I don't like this title, war reporter, because, I never, when I was 16, I thought that maybe I will be war correspondent sometimes, but it's because I saw the news where, there was Iraq campaign, and I saw this, and I thought, it's so brave to cover the war, to be a journalist, but it was 2000, first, and without internet connection, without nothing, and for me at the time it was so important. You are somewhere in the dangerous place and show to the world, to the other people, what's happened there. And after I forgot about this thoughts, and but I became a journalist. I became study journalism, and after war become to my home, to my country, I just come to the war because I understood that this is the most important thing which happened in my country. I should be there, and that's all. And from 2014, I am there, and now I'm also there when the full invasion began, and that's all. I'm not that journalist who will come, I don't know, to Syria, to Iraq, to other countries where some conflicts are, or will be.
I remember you were telling the story how you came back to Hromadske, to serve or to suggest your experience as a correspondent who used to cover the war.
Yeah, because I was quit. Because I was young mother, my son was 6 months old, and I decided to quit. It was in July in 2021, and when war began again, I just came and said that I will cover the war because I have this experience, and that's all. I stay in Kiev because all the team just moved from Kiev to Vinnytsia, and after to different cities, and even someone went abroad. But I decided to stay and just cover what happened there in Kiev, and after in Kharkiv and other regions in Chernihiv, and after in the east and south.
What is it like to when it's full invasion, it's war in your country, and your family is, I don't know, in Kiev, for example, in Kiev. And what is it like to leave your family every time, I don't know, once a month, I don't know, twice a week, and going to the front line, de facto front line?
My son will be 2 years old on the 1st of January, and he knows not much words, but word mother, he knows. And he always says, "Mama, mama, mama," when I leave him and hug him, and he just take me and don't allow me to go. And it's the most sad thing for me. And I know that this moment will come when I will leave. And for me, this is so upset. And I always think, oh my God, I'm a bad mother. I leave my son and go to some dangerous place, and I can't just not come back, because it's true, that you always understand that it can be your last trip, your last shooting, your last video, because we are going to such places where it's happened all the time, that people just die. And I always think, if it's not too big price, for this video, I can die and my son will be alone, not alone, he has a father, but without mother. and he will grow up without me. And sometimes I think that I'm a very big egoist that try to just do my work, but I think that it's important to do this, but sometimes I think maybe it's not so important, and more important just to stay with my son and to be a mother. It's always like I always think about this, and sometimes we are not, we have not very good trips. I mean that we plan something and it's not work because it's war and everything changed. It can be too dangerous to go to that place where we plan to go, and we just sit somewhere in some cold place, some like 1,000 kilometers from home, from my family. And I think why I'm here, what I'm doing here. And sometimes I think maybe it will be more, useful to go as a combat medic, for example, to the front line and like help people to save their life or something like this, not this journalism, because it's also too difficult to do this job, not only because it's danger, but because you can't show everything, because not everything is allowed. Sometimes you need all these permissions, and sometimes you spend like weeks for planning, for permissions and everything, and you think that maybe it's too big price. But why I'm still to do this? Because people say thanks after my video, and people who watch this video, people who are in this video, like our heroes of our materials, and for them it's important to show how war looks like in reality. And the most important thing that, unfortunately, some of these heroes, some of these our characters are already dead, and this video is only one memory about them, and it's also important for their families, for their friends, for their colleagues, for guys who were fighting with them.
It's very sad. Yeah, but
this is our life, unfortunately. But I see many, it can be said, but I see many positive things during my work. For example, 2 days ago we were in Bakhmut. I don't know if your audience knows, but now it's the hottest spot on the front line. It's a not very big city in the Donetsk region, and Russians try to capture, try to fence it from May, and now they have some success. And we were in the hospital in Bakhmut, where only military medics work now, and it's shelling everywhere and very close to the hospital, and sometimes in the hospital, and no matter what, they walk, and many injured soldiers are there, and they are laughing all the time and joke with each other and try to be positive. And when you see this people, you think, okay, I am okay also. They are okay, I am okay also. We should move on. We don't have any choice, another choice. We should be positive. We should be okay.
Tell me a little bit about your experience with the safety of the trips. And I don't know, do you have some insurance policy and so on and so on? How it works with your case?
We have insurance, but it's quite... it's not often that the Ukrainian journalists have insurance. Maybe just few of media have insurances for the journalists. Mostly don't have, and this is a big problem, I think. But this is the problem of money, that Ukrainian media don't have enough money for safety, for journalist safety. Yeah, some grants, some international organizations help, of course, media, but not all of them. And for example, if we can compare with, I don't know, someone from Reuters team or Associated Press, big media, or CNN, They have security guide. They have armed vehicles. They have some, I don't know, fixers, producers who help with which roads are more safe, which are not, if we can go there for safety reasons, if we can't. They have all of this. We don't have. And no one from Ukrainian journalists have this. Maybe one big channel, 1+1, they have some security guide, and they have yes, and that's all. That's all. Sometimes journalists have nothing. Ukrainian journalists, fixers have nothing, and sometimes I think that their life costs nothing for international media because they. I don't know, they do maybe 60% of work, but they pay just with money and that's all. No insurance, no safety helps, nothing, and I think that it's not normal. But this is the reality in which we live, because you can receive, I don't know, for 3 days your month's salary, and that's why you agree to this job, but it's not safety at all. What we have good team. My team is driver, videographer, and me. All of three of us know how to help each other with first aid. Me and my driver know how to drive the car. Videographer no, but we want him to learn, because if two of us will be injured, what we will do, I don't know. And we try always to talk before the trip. What will be. We always talk about roads. In which road we will go. Try to have this offline maps. Also, I have offline maps in my watch. And remember all the roads, because sometimes you understand that it will be no connection, and we should find the road back. And if it will be saved and mined and everything, that's all I think.
What is about cooperation with the military, with the army? Do they help you, or is it easy to communicate with them and cooperate with them?
We are Ukrainians, and the military is also Ukrainians, for example, one guy in the military is my father-in-law. I mean that with some people in the army, it's very easy to work, because it's our friends, it's our relatives, it's our, I don't know, ex-colleagues who came to war as a military, decide to be like soldiers, not journalists anymore, cameramen. And that's why with someone is easier to work. With other also easier, because I have this experience from 2014. They know me, I know them. They know how I work. They know, I know what they which people they are, and if it's easier to work with them. And that's why it's easier. With some, no, it's not easier. We need many permissions, especially in the south. It's a very hard spot to work. Maybe you know the story about Kherson, that more than 30 journalists were cancelled the accreditation. Also, I was among them, but now we have accreditation again. But yeah, it was hard to work there. Sometimes it's hard to work because, of course, journalists want to go to some hottest spots, but the same, it's the most dangerous. And of course, it's very objectively why we're not allowed to go there. For example, we can't make the video now with soldiers entrenched on the front line from the Soledar to Bakhmut and to Torets, because it's impossible. It's impossible to get there. and no one will take you because it's too dangerous. Like very big opportunity that you will die there, because even for example, we saw a couple of days ago one medic. He went to evacuation and he will not come back. He wasn't come back. He was died. Yeah, this is a reality that some places are very dangerous now, and also tanks. Very hard to cover now the stories with tanks, because they're walking only on the front, and you can't go there because it's too dangerous. That's all. You can make the video with artillery maybe. And it's very funny because in 2014-15, you can't show the artillery. It was only the reports about trains live, and now it's only reports about artillery.
We are journalists. We are like eternity learners. We constantly learn something, studying and so on. So, what are the main new lessons, new takes from your experience as a journalist? What is new for you during these last 9 months?
Well, for me, that the Ukrainians are best. Sometimes I didn't think in this way, but now I see so much, I don't know, kindness, creativity, bravery. I can't imagine that I live with these people in this time. It's the hardest time, as I already told. I don't know, I wrote this in my Twitter. It's the hardest time, the darkness time, but at the same time, it's the brightest time, when maybe Ukrainians were not so good, but they become so good because I think, we become so good because it's only one way to survive. If we will support each other, help each other, because if we will not survive, we will fall. I think that's why we understood this, and we are patient. We try to, to live with all these circumstances. I mean, without electricity, without nothing, not to, feel bad, try to joke, try to laugh, try to, be with each other, be polite to each other and everything. And for me, this is only one thing which is helped me just to move on. It's not pathetic words. I'm absolutely honest with you. I will not see everything of this. I will not move on. I will just stop.
Thank you, Nastya, for very honest and interesting conversation.